Hello and welcome. And this is a great opportunity to come back after we've had a very, I'd have to say, an interesting week, if not busy, and a phenomenal week as far as some trades have gone, especially since this week was a live mentoring session here in our office in Florida. What I wanted to go through with you guys is not just what we shared and uncovered and taught in our mentoring session, but looking at some of the tools that I find useful. I think you will benefit from learning a little bit and how we apply it a little bit smarter using the Person Algo Optimizer. First, before I begin to explain and share with you some of these details, take a minute just to read this quick risk disclosure statement. Remember that trading involves risk of loss, and again, past performance is not indicative of future results. All right. So one of the things that we wanted to first talk about is what's the next best support or the next best setup trade happening right now. And for that, I'm going to use our Genesis Financial Trade Navigator software. This is a phenomenal product. It's probably, I think, the first software that ever put my PPS indicators up on their platform. The data is unbelievable as far as reliability is concerned, and they were really the foremost software platform that used and developed seasonal analysis as well as other technical tools. So what I wanted to go through with you quickly is one of my, many of you that watching this may not know my past, but I was one of the co-authors of the original Commodity Traders Almanac, so we actually have a little bit of experience in seasonality here. Being a 38-year veteran trader, the first thing you learned back in the old days was if you're trading in the commodity markets, you kind of got a handle about seasonal trends in the market, supply-demand functions. But I came up with the concept that if you're going to use seasonality, it doesn't work all the time. It's a general rule, number one. Number two, technical indicators generally will give you a better guideline. Seasonal analysis just tells you, what has been the past historic condition or trend of the market. Now, I always like to say if a market has been in sync with its or corresponding trends with its historic seasonal trends, I give it the benefit of the doubt to assume, I make the assumption, it may continue to remain in sync with its seasonal trend if we get corresponding technical indicators to corroborate that outlook. All right, so it's kind of like we look at seasonal analysis to anticipate what could happen, but we use technical analysis to help confirm that the seasonals are in tune. More importantly, if the market had been in tune with its seasonal analysis, I'm more apt to do and prepare for that it would continue to move forward in its seasonal trend. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's look at an example here. If we go back and look at gold and we say, well, what has it done over the last 2 years? This is a weekly chart, and you have my PPS indicators. Those are the green arrows and the orange arrows indicating bullish and bearish momentum shifts. Then you have your person's pivots. These are monthly pivots. So in a given time frame, you just take a look and say, gee, did the pivots actually hold support or hold resistance in a given time frame? Did they act as support when the market was making a low? They're very reliable and they have worked, so we're going to continue to watch and use them. All right, that's number one. Number two, let's take a gander here and uncover and look to see if, in fact, the gold price structure has adhered to its seasonal trend. So as we can take a look back here in January of 16, the trend is to go up, and boy, the trend went up. The trend is to go down, and if you notice, it goes sideways, and then when its seasonal trend is to go back up, what does it do? It does go back up. And then when its seasonal trend is to go back down, look what it does. It stays in tune with that seasonal trend. It goes up, it goes up. It goes down. Look at the time frame. Now, the peak here, if you notice, and you kind of take a look at gold, and all the way to its time frame of going down, which would be synonymous with that low right there. So from the peak to the trough. It may be hard to see by the naked eye, but the seasonal trend, even though it did pop up a couple times from start to finish, was down. So yes, sideways to down is seasonally weak. So it did adhere to its seasonal weak period in that time frame. It's supposed to go up, it does go up. It's supposed to go down, it does go down. It's supposed to go up, it does go up. It's supposed to go down, and boy, baby, it has gone down. Gone, baby, gone. So you can look back at this and say, wow, that's kind of crazy, because I don't think a lot of retail traders have really looked at this in the details that we're sharing with you and said, yeah, you know what, it's kind of funny. Despite the volume analysis, gold has adhered to its seasonal trend. So if the seasonal trend moving forward at the end of July into August is to, and that's this period right here, and is to go from down to up, what are we going to be doing? Are we going to be looking to sell rallies now, or are we going to be looking for maybe some kind of indicators that could support the conclusion that if it is going to be in a seasonally strong period of time, then we should look for buy setups? That's the question on the table, is how do we take and prepare correctly as traders for a possible bullish time frame for gold and take advantage of it for our trades. So if you're interested in that, let's move forward and I'll show you how. All right. First and foremost, we're going to prepare, and this is using the John the Person Algo Optimizer with TradeStation. Many of you already have this product, and there are a few licenses left, but this is one of the really unique functions of being able to not just backtest, but to do something that we've been sharing and getting our members in tune with. Yes, I think a lot of people optimize trading systems to do what? Go long and short. And you'll see here's this system's a 15-minute system, and this starts from the beginning of the year. It takes both longs and shorts based on a 15-minute basis, number one, but it doesn't take signals all the time. What does that mean? Well, if I go over here to Format Strategy, I'll just share with you, just so that you know, we are on Algo 16 setup right there. It only takes trades at 3 in the morning to around 2 in the afternoon, and that's the subtract time frame from 1530. That's what that defines. All right. Now, let's take a look at our strategy performance, and you can see 56% on average it makes money. Look at the performance graph. Pretty cool. Left to right makes money. Can it do better? Well, here's an interesting function of the market. It's been through a period of, I wouldn't call it a drawdown, I'd call it sideways flat performance in through the month of when. It started in a sideways range from about the middle of June to beginning of June. It really hasn't, from June 1st or so, June 5th, it really hasn't provided a lot of great profits. Why? Well, here's where I think traders, if we can anticipate, and I want to share this with you. The next chart here, this is very important. The next chart here is just long only trades, and the next chart over here is short only. The difference is, let's take a look at format symbols, and you'll note here it starts from May 30th, about that time that the market was flat. So let's take a look at this setup, and this is the short only system. And it, just to compare an apple to an apple, just like the longs only, the short only starts the same time frame, May 30th. So can we enhance an automated or algorithmic trading system, or can we enhance something to say, boy, you know, if we're in a really strong bearish market, hopefully the system won't take any type of buy signals in a strong bearish market, but from time to time you may get a buy setup that would lose money. And even though the overall system will make money, it would have been better to filter out or turn off the longs. And there's an old trader's adage, which pretty much states you get a little bit more fruit off the tree by being on the dominant trend side of the market. So if the dominant trend is down, why would you want to have a system that takes longs and shorts? There we go. So how can we enhance which side of the market to be on? And for there, we would utilize our higher time frame daily charts. And as you can see, going back since no wonder, since the beginning of June, gold hasn't done well with longs. The trend is down, and you've been more in a downtrend. The volume's been down. Our proprietary histogram is mostly negative. My proprietary volume indicator is negative. Open interest on longs started to deteriorate. And your trading range, your average true range, this is a 10-day ATR, started to diminish. So not only do you get in a really bad trading environment, you're starting to lose trading range and there's no volatility. So when you start to go from like maybe a 15 average true range, a $15 average true range day in, day out, to about a $6 ATR, it's hard to make money in a market that's not moving. So I think it's best to understand the complexity of the market environment you're in, and I think if you could learn this, then you are teachable to do better in the market. So if we're looking, A, to enhance our performance, and B, anticipating that gold's possibly going to move from a downtrend to an uptrend, we want to look at specific indicators that would help us to determine the trend of the market is starting to change and that the condition is improved from a strong seller's market to a strong buyer's market. And when we get those clues, what do we think we want to do to anticipate to enhance our return? We want to use possibly a long only model, long only. So that would be where we would use a long only system, turn off the shorts, turn off a system that is both buy and sell, and use a long only model and capture the market. Now let me share with you some of the things that worked this week with that same theory, because it was just an amazing week, and it was just incredibly awesome. So let's go over and turn off our little script that I've been writing on. And I apologize if that got in the way, but here's the thing. I want to show you what happened with crude oil. So let me switch pages for you. All right, this is the crude oil page. If we're going to be trading crude oil or trading any market, I want to have everything that is pertinent to me to make a better educated trade decision. That's how I teach my traders and students to trade. But before we go further, I'd like to share with you, this is from my weekly advisory service, the Weekly Thoughts and Observations. We do extensive research and as well provide extensive details. And remember that. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the phrase, the devil is in the detail. Well, here the devil is in the detail. We like to take a look if we're trading stocks. We want to look at what the condition of price action is coming into this week. Again, this is the week dated starting for the week of July 9th. So this was created last weekend. This gets sent out via email and is posted on our members section in the website over the weekend, so traders have a chance to review and plan their week. Well, here's what I want to really get into besides analyzing the markets from specific tools for S&Ps, what we're looking at, what type of buy and sell signals we're looking at, advanced decline analysis on most of the indices. Here's what we wanted to really go through, and I want you to see this because besides looking at, as we're talking about gold right now, ironically, we're talking about, we were looking for a pullback more in gold, but now we're starting to see a setup for some of the other subsectors of gold, mainly the gold miners, and of course the ETF called NUGT. But here's what I really want to get into, gang, with you, was identifying the fact, besides looking at a few choice stocks to pay attention to, letting our investors know that we got earnings season coming out, and in fact we have a lot of different new setups like last earnings season. We also wanted to just go through, and we had just an amazing amount of buy signals for this week, and you'll notice some of these names, a lot of them had really good follow through for this week. But here's what I think I really want you to kind of focus in on, was our comment that crude oil futures formed a weekly doji candle, indecision, doesn't mean sell signal, indecision, But the decline in open interest in the last rally is on deteriorating volume, and it makes the market susceptible for a pullback. So that's what we wrote a week ago. So as you can see, these are the things that we like to put out and notify our clients to. So if you're looking at the market in terms of coming into the week, and here's what we're looking at coming into the week. Note that the most important pertinent information on this chart, volume on the rally in price was weakening. My proprietary momentum indicator was deteriorating. Our proprietary volume indicator was showing bearish divergence. And here, the open interest was declining. So if a market rallies on weak volume and with declining open interest, el no goodo, muy malo. So what do you think we want to do? Just like gold, we want to focus more on short-only trades on our algo optimizer. And as we get into the week, you'll notice on Wednesday, one of the biggest downdrafts occurred in the market. So how did the system uphold on a short only? Well, it did phenomenal. And with the algo optimizer, and if you'll notice here, this is coming into Friday. It's had a couple short trades that didn't work, and on the end of the day, beautiful little setup, and it just kicked butt. Let's take a look at the trailing stop figures and how this function on Algo 16 works. If we're looking for bearish market action, we want to take sell signals, and this thing is designed to take half profits at the intended and let it ride until a trailing stop function kicks it out. And notice that if you're bearish the market, you want to avoid taking longs. And so it did a phenomenal job of what it's supposed to do in cranking out and being on the right side of the market. So let's take a look at Wednesday's action, because we had a lot of our students and traders and those who have the Algo Optimizer just went ballistic with this trade setup because it was just so amazing. And it was a fortunate situation that we were able to correctly identify the market was weakening on a higher degree time frame and was susceptible for a pullback. If the market's susceptible for a pullback, meaning after it rises, it's susceptible to pull back, why would you ever want to be in a long position? You want to look for the trend to take over. And here's a situation where you get a nice little short position and it gets out its intended profit target. Red is the stop loss, orange is the entry, blue is the profit target. And then what does it do? It trails the stop, and that's what these orange lines over here show. It trails the stop until it says it stopped out. And this is an amazing function of the Algo Optimizer. It just takes over for you. So the analysis of determining that the market would roll over in crude oil was very helpful in helping to determine take longs off, take shorts only. So the same kind of concept is going to be applied for gold, which is what we are anticipating that we could see a new upturn in as far as a market trend. So when we start to see the certain sort of T readings all line up, so to speak, and the stars line up on the specific indicators that I like to use and teach people how to use, then we're going to go long only. I hope you enjoyed this. This was for us just an amazing week, and I'm telling you right now, if there's more and more traders that can learn these techniques, I think you're going to really have a phenomenal year as we move forward, because I do anticipate more volatility, and as there's so much money in this world, I'm anticipating that we're going to see a lot of trading opportunities in different segments of the market as the weeks and months progress. If you're interested, don't forget we do conduct, and our annual seminar is going to be right down here in Florida, November 29th, December 1st, and we are going to go through an extensive specialized training using the Person Algo Optimizer and how we actually apply that for option strategies. And of course, we'll go through more in-depth training using our Person's Market Catcher, the PPS, and Advanced Volume Indicator. So with that said, if you're interested in more information about what we do for our clients and how we think a little bit smarter and trade a little bit better and how we line things up, come visit us here at personsplanet.com/algo-trading HTML, or just go to the website, which is Persons Planet, and I'll bring that up for you. Which, if you're watching this, you're probably on the website, but here all you have to do is go up to events and you'll see our seminar in Florida. And if you want to learn more about the Algo Optimizer, click on Persons Indicator Algo Optimizer. Hey, thanks for watching, and I hope you found value out of this video.